Corpus Vile, something felt to be of so little value that it may be experimented with or upon without concern for loss or damage. The subject of an experiment. Corpus Vile. The body. Vile. Corpus Vile. Corpus Vile, something felt to be of so little value that it may be experimented with or upon without concern for loss or damage. The subject of an experiment. Corpus Vile. The body. Vile. Corpus Vile. Corpus Vile. Corpus Vile.
Hi, my name is Athena Reddy. I wrote this story. It's on an iPad. Some of it is true and some of it is a fantasy, and I'll leave it up to you to decide which parts are which. So I smelled the skin market before I saw it. I was looking in the cases at that jeweler's that faces Sears, and the smell just turned my head toward the food court. And it wasn't Annie Ann's pretzels, because that Annie Ann's smell wasn't even there, which is crazy because Annie Ann's is like the dominant mall smell. But this smell, this was just something beautiful. Like flowers, maybe? Like flowers without the dirt. Like papaya? That was what my first thought was. I thought this must be papaya. I've never had one before, but I imagine that it would taste like the way this smelled. And it wasn't like soap. It wasn't like a normal stinging soap, like soapy smell that comes from some sort of soap store. And it wasn't like the nauseating smell of a Yankee Candle store. I don't even go into Yankee Candle anymore, because one time I told my aunt that her bathroom smelled nice, and what I really meant was that her bathroom didn't smell like shit. It smelled like something else. So the bar was pretty low. It just didn't smell like shit. It should have smelled like shit based on the amount of people that were there from my family and the amount of eating and shitting that was going on. But her bathroom actually smelled okay, not like shit, like Yankee Candle. The bar is very low, and I said to her, like, oh, that smells really great, and she was like, oh yeah, it's from Yankee Candle, it's a fresh linen scent. And then she proceeded to get me the Yankee Candle linen scent gift set or something for the next Christmas and birthday, and now I burn those candles whenever she comes over to my house, because I don't want her to know that I'm not using them or that I don't like them, and so she thinks I really, really like them. But really, what I didn't like, what I did like was that her bathroom didn't smell like shit, but I don't like the fresh linen scent. But she's kind of like fancy, and I don't want to be like, oh, it's just because it didn't smell like shit that I don't like it. I mean, so anyway, I don't even go into Yankee Candle because it brings up a lot of guilt and a lot of shame. And also it's just a very artificially smelling store, and that stings the nostrils. Anyway, yeah, the smell I was smelling this day, it wasn't candles or soap or Annie Ann's pretzels. This shopping mall smell was new. And it's like it didn't even belong in a shopping mall. Like it belonged in the garden of some bejeweled fairy prince who lives inside of an apricot that never ages, or something like that. So I abandoned my brother in the Jared Jewelers to fend for himself and buy his girlfriend a Christmas gift. And I followed the smell. It didn't get stronger as I got closer. If it got stronger, it might be too sweet or cloying, and it didn't get stronger as I got closer, but it got more beautiful. And the more I took it into my nostrils, the more beautiful it got. And the increase of delight meant I was getting closer, not the strength of the smell. And there it was, the source of the smell. I was shocked no other people were turning their heads. A guy eating an Annie Ann's pretzel was nearby, and he was probably lost in that smell of butter and cinnamon. And then this woman walked by, and she was newly spritzed with some sort of body spray, an overpowering shower of confusing notes. And in the distance, two boys slammed their hands against a Pepsi machine. And none of these people found the source. I found the source. I mean, I felt like a crazy person, really. Why isn't anyone else smelling this? It's changing my life just by standing outside of it. And the source was a small shop, and a narrow shop entrance for a mall store, but not unusually narrow. It just seemed to go very, very deep. The glowy but not overpowering sign above me said, Skin Market. Skin Market. Then a beautiful man in a pristine satin apron with perfect eyebrows and perfect teeth, but not big, creepy, fake salesperson smile, just a perfect, genuine smile of delight, with the smiling with the heart, and then the eyes, and then the teeth follow, but not too garishly. And this beautiful man said to me, "Hello, welcome to Skin Market. Let me know if you have any questions." And then he was seemingly gone. He didn't awkwardly tell me there was a special sale today or sprout any kind of branding from a bad training video. He was just gone, it seemed. Perfect. And then gone. I already missed him somehow, but I didn't have any questions. I was hardly past the precipice between the tan-tiled dirty mall and whatever this Skin Market was. It was narrow, but it was deep. I was already so full and so pleased with the smell I was inhaling that I didn't even know what to do with myself. I was satisfied. And what more is there after the level of satisfaction of that smell? What was I gonna do? Was I gonna, look at bottles of creams and lotions and little beautiful tins of lip balm and then buy them even though I'm broke, only to find them half used months later on my car floor and regret having spent too much money on something I didn't finish and wish I could have spent it on food? No, that was not this kind of store. That smell that brought me there, it belonged to this moment. I felt it. I knew it. I didn't dare step deeper into the store. I just stood there and enjoyed the moment. And then the voice of my brother behind me, "Hey, I'm gonna grab Wendy's. I'll meet you in the car. Do you want something?" His voice was an assault. I was pulled out of my senses, out of the smell, and I hated it. I hated him. I didn't want to turn away from the glow of the deep, narrow store. Its many little bottles suddenly shyly winking at me from the walls. "No, I'll just meet you in the car," I found myself saying, not even turning around. Suddenly, my eyes, as well as my nose, were enchanted. This seemed to be another world. Not a store that should be on the way to the food court, but something from an unattainable painting about glass and light that cannot exist in our world, seen through eyes we do not have. "Okay," said my brother, his voice scraping at my back, and then he was gone to Wendy's. I took a breath, almost trying to taste the smell, and a green color seemed to smile at me. A deep bottle green in the corner of my eye, hardly a few feet away from me. And my body took me there without thought. Just through the senses, I grew enraptured with this color, the soft lighting of this narrow, deep shot winking and blinking through the little beveled bottle's form. This spot of the store smelled differently, but not different. It smelled different, like a more focused area of the original smell, as if I were inside of that smell, navigating its multiple parts. The first experience of the smell was like looking at a map of the smell, and now I was in the territory, inside of the smell. I looked into the tiny bottle green glass bottle. A silver filigree cap delicately hugged the top, and it seemed to look like what I imagined being in love felt like. There was nothing in the bottle. There was nothing in any of the bottles. I looked around at the others, crystal, iridescent ones and deep orange sunsets of glass bottles, rounding teardrop shapes and beautiful, strong little cubes, so many different shapes, so many different colors. Like one, like an amber star, one somehow like sand, but I didn't understand how or why. But this one, this tiny green glass bottle, the tiniest one amongst her family of impressive size, the deepest green, though there were other greens, the most delicate silver, though there were other silver fastenings, atomizers, and caps. I looked into it and saw the reflection of my own eyes multiplied in the beveling. So many eyes looked back at me with a softness I've never known from my eyes. I suddenly wondered if I had ever made this face before, if my eyes had ever been this soft, if I ever felt such gentleness across my face, across my chest. I don't know. This was first. It was, like I said, a kind of falling in love, but more deeply and with less fear. This bottle, this moment, these smells, the reflection of my eyes multiplied, my periphery filled with bottles of hundreds of colors and sizes, set on my shelves and shelves and shelves and shelves. There were no price tags. There was nothing like that. "I have a question," I said softly, knowing the beautiful man in the perfect white but not too bright satin apron would answer. I didn't need to look around the store frantically or wave him over. Waving someone over would be a heinous tragedy here. I almost whispered my question as I felt him beside me, my eyes still fixed on the little green bottle. "What is this?" I said. And he answered. As he answered, I found myself breathing more deeply than I've ever known. My lungs seeming to have more room, my whole body seeming to expand more with the space. "This is yours," he said. I looked at him, and he nodded softly. "Let me know if you have any more questions." I somehow knew exactly what to do. It was like falling in love, a daze with these threads of pure truth and clarity, and all of them just seemed to say yes. Jump. I knew exactly what to do. I found my face wet with tears of overwhelm and reached for this thing that was mine, and I held it gently, firm but gentle, firm but gentle. It seemed to tell me exactly what to do. I put it in my mouth, the entire little perfect thing, and began to chew. And I chewed wildly, the little green glass cutting up my lips and cheeks and tongue. I felt my own hot blood painting my lips and drooling beautifully down my chin onto my neck, and then I swallowed slowly and stood there and took the aroma of this place in like an anesthetic, because with that smell I could do anything. The glass ripped my insides with a bottle green ecstasy, and I sang a scream, and there he was, the perfect man in the pristine satin apron by my side. He was the smell. He was the anesthesia. If he was close, there would be no pain. "Are you back, my lord?" he asked in reverence. It took me a moment to answer, because I was enjoying the hot surges of my blood inside and out and reveling in the bottle green pleasure pain. I looked down at this body, not remembering when I arrived in it, but finding it suitable for the work that must be done. I looked at my servant with love. In his pristine apron, he needed a reward for the work he had done to bring me here. "If you trade me your skin," I said, "you may eat every bottle in the shop, walk through those back doors, and take my old kingdom." His eyes widened, overcome, but my lord, he was shocked at my generosity. "All you want is my skin?" He laughed. I nodded. "And I can have every one of these bottles?" He marveled at the riches around him, and within a second, he removed his skin like a cloak, standing to face me. A beautiful skeleton, strong with organs and all the useless parts dropping to the floor. He handed me his skin like a cloak, its smell intoxicating me, soothing me, wrapping me in safety. And then he was there, skeleton glorious, grabbing the bottles from the shelves and breaking them on his pristine white skull and pristine bare ribs. He smashed up every bottle in a gleeful binge and disappeared through the back of the shop to my old realm to take my place. They loved him there. I know they loved him more than they loved me. And I want love. More love. I knew I would not get it in my old realm. I frightened them. But these people here, you, the people of Earth, there are more of them, more love to be had, more adoration to dance with, more. And these people, you people, will not be afraid of me, for I am nothing new.
Corpus Vile. Corpus Vile. Something felt to be of so little value that it may be experimented with or upon without concern for loss or damage. The subject of an experiment. Corpus Vile. The body. Vile. Wow, thank you for listening to Corpus Vile. My name is Athena Reddy, and I am the writer and performer of these Corpus Viles, these body horrors here. If you want to find out more about my work, you can go to www.athenareddy.com. That's my name, ATHENAREDDY. I come and go from social media, but right now I'm trying to stay. I'm on Twitter at the Low Pope. I'm not the High Pope, I am the Low Pope. I am on Instagram at the Earl Greg. That's the name of one of my drag characters, Earl Gregory. My pronouns are she and they, and I experiment with my gender a lot. What else? Oh, I have a coffee. If you want to give me a tip, I have something called a coffee where you can throw me a couple bucks. And that's ko-fi.com/Athena Reddy, my name. And I have another podcast that it will be 22 episodes when it's finished. And that is called Your Body is a Legend. And I'm a movement philosopher and trained yoga teacher. And they are guided meditations for people who want to either move or stay still or half listen to them. And it's centered around all of the images of the tarot. So every single week is a different major arcana card of the tarot, because I'm an occultist. What's up? So that's my information. There's more of it than that. If you have questions about my work, let me know. Thank you for listening to Corpus Vile. I'm not always spooky. Sometimes I'm fun and funny. So that's why you should come over to Instagram, hang out, meet Earl Gregory. He's a hoot. Yeah, okay, thank you. That's enough of me now. Okay.